When I was a kid, I thought being able to bend my fingers backwards was my special trick. I was known for having big hands. Friends would cringe as I casually touched my thumb to my forearm or bent my knees in ways that seemed unnatural. I wore my flexibility like a badge of honor, not realizing that beneath this talent was a condition that would challenge me in ways I couldn't yet comprehend. Welcome to the Hypermobility Guide for he, him, and if you're between 16 and 60 and have ever wondered why your body feels like it's both a blessing and a curse, you're in the right place. This book is for the men and boys who push through pain, dismiss discomfort, and soldier on because that's what we're taught to do. What is HSD/HEDS? So what is HSD/HEDS? Let's break down some terms you'll hear a lot. Hypermobility Spectrum Disorder, HSD, and Hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. Hypermobility Spectrum Disorder, or HSD, is a group of conditions characterized by joint hypermobility. That is, joints that move beyond the normal range. Think of your body's connective tissue, like collagen, as the glue holding everything together. In HSD, this glue is a bit too stretchy, leading to joints that are overly flexible. While flexibility might sound advantageous, it can lead to joint instability, pain, and a higher risk of injuries. Hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. hEDS is a more specific genetic condition falling under the Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome's umbrella, which comprises 13 subtypes. Like HSD, hEDS affects connective tissue due to abnormalities in collagen. However, hEDS can have more systemic effects impacting the skin, blood vessels, and organs. However, more and more, hEDS and HSD are being acknowledged to be the same condition on a spectrum. Common symptoms include joint hyperflexibility, the ability to move joints beyond the normal range. Chronic pain, persistent joint or muscle pain, is a feature of the condition. Frequent injuries throughout life, sprains, dislocations, or subluxations, partial dislocations. Skin elasticity, soft, velvety skin that may be prone to bruising. And fatigue, a constant sense of tiredness that doesn't improve with rest. Understanding these conditions is the first step towards managing them. Knowledge is power, and in this battle, it's your most valuable weapon. So why is this manual for boys and men? You might be wondering why a guide specifically for men. Society often expects us to be stoic, to man up and push through the pain. We downplay our struggles, ignore our symptoms, and avoid seeking help because we don't want to appear weak. This mindset is not just harmful, it's dangerous. I wrote this manual to break that cycle. As men, we need to recognize that acknowledging our vulnerabilities is a sign of strength, not weakness. By sharing my journey, I hope to help you navigate yours. My diagnosis. In early 2022, I found myself in a battle I hadn't trained for. Despite serving as a Marine and priding myself on resilience, my body was sending distress signals I could no longer ignore. I was grappling with chronic fatigue, unexplained weight loss, I dropped 50 pounds, and a slew of symptoms that didn't add up. Eating became a chore, and I was constantly exhausted. But every time I sought medical attention, I was told I was healthy as a horse. Then came February 2022. The world was reeling from the recent invasion of Ukraine, and I attended a veteran court forum where General James Mattis was scheduled to speak. I was there as a veteran mentor, trying to maintain my usual stoic demeanor despite the turmoil inside me. During dinner, I had the opportunity to brief General Mattis on my situation. I did my best to present a composed front, but he saw right through me. He looked me in the eye and asked, "How's your spirit, warrior?" The question hit me like a ton of bricks. Here was a man I deeply respected, cutting through all the pretense and getting to the heart of the matter. Before I could fully process it, he was called away to address the gathering. The next day, I received a call from General Mattis's brothers, Tom and Gerald. They told me that after our conversation, General Mattis was concerned about my health. He suspected I might have Marfan syndrome, a genetic disorder affecting connective tissue. While not the exact diagnosis, it was remarkably close. Their concern and willingness to help were the pushes I needed. With their support, I sought medical attention with renewed determination, and after numerous tests and consultations, I was diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, along with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, PTSD, and autism spectrum disorder. Since then, I've undergone 6 reconstructive surgeries under the skilled hands of Dr. Erickson in Seattle, a leading surgeon in EDS treatment. In 2022, both of my hands were rebuilt in a procedure known as the Erickson Special. In 2023, his partner Dr. Oseto performed bilateral leg surgeries to release trapped nerves in my feet, ankles, and knees. In 2024, I had a small finger revision surgery and ligament repairs in my right ankle, and at 35, I'm preparing for upcoming surgeries on my left ankle, shoulders, and hip. The journey hasn't been easy, but it's been enlightening. General Mattis's question forced me to confront a reality I was avoiding. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you need help. The hidden struggle. Hypermobility disorders are often misunderstood, underdiagnosed, or misdiagnosed, especially in men. Because flexibility is sometimes seen as a positive trait, or because we downplay our symptoms, we might not realize that there's an underlying issue that needs attention. Here's some common misconceptions. These are just some harmful misconceptions that keep many of us from getting proper medical care growing up. You're just double jointed. There's no such thing as being double jointed. This term often dismisses the potential severity of hypermobility disorders. It's just growing pains. While adolescents might experience growing pains, persistent joint pain is not normal and should be evaluated. Men don't get EDS. EDS doesn't discriminate by gender. However, women are more frequently diagnosed, possibly because men are less likely to seek medical advice. Breaking down the medical jargon. Understanding the medical terminology can feel like learning a new language. Let's demystify some common terms you'll need to understand. Collagen. It's a protein that's a primary component of connective tissue. Think of it as the body's scaffolding. Connective tissue. Tissues that support, bind, or separate other tissues or organs. Includes tendons, ligaments, cartilage, and bone. Subluxation. A partial dislocation where the joint is misaligned but not completely dislocated. Autonomic nervous system. ANS. The part of the nervous system responsible for control of bodily functions, not consciously directed, like breathing and heartbeat. Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. A condition where changing from lying down to standing causes an abnormally large increase in heart rate. Recognizing the signs. Here are some common signs of hypermobility-related illness, along with the justification that kept me from being accurately diagnosed. If you're experiencing any of the following, it might be time to consult a healthcare professional. Chronic joint pain, especially if it's not linked to physical activity or injury. Only 1 in 5 people will ever experience pain that lasts from more than 3 months continuously during their lifetime. Only 20%. Learning this statistic helped me understand that what I was going through was not normal. Frequent injuries. Sprains, strains, or dislocations from minor incidents. I had always been accident prone. The wide variety of seemingly unconnected injuries makes a lot more sense when you understand that the connective tissue itself is weak. Extreme flexibility. Being able to move joints beyond their normal range. I most often see this in the form of party tricks. Not only is that exhibiting symptoms of connective tissue deficiencies, it puts unnecessary wear on your joints, so no party tricks. Fatigue, feeling tired all the time, even after adequate rest. One of the first signs I noticed was a lack of energy that led me to ask, how fatigued do you have to be for it to be chronic? It was a clear sign in hindsight. Unfortunately, I would continue to work for nearly 2 years afterwards, doing continued damage to my mind and body. Digestive issues, such as irritable bowel syndrome. Again, it's not normal to fluctuate between constipation and diarrhea. There are so many ways our digestive system can get out of balance with EDS. Most of us do not understand what normal bowel behavior is, unfortunately. Cardiovascular systems. Dizziness upon standing, rapid heartbeat, or fainting spells. Growing up, I had heard, if you stand up too fast, you'll faint. So naturally, I just assumed I stood up too fast every time I stood up. Taking the first step. Admitting that you might need help is not a sign of weakness. It's a demonstration of courage and self-respect. It took a direct question from General Mattis for me to face my reality, so I hope my story can encourage you to take that crucial first step. Finding the right medical support. Primary care physician. Start with your PCP and express your concerns clearly. You may need to see a variety of providers such as rheumatologists, neurologists, geneticists, orthopedists, specialists, physical therapists, or cardiologists. Keep records. Document your symptoms, injuries, and any patterns you notice. Be persistent. If you feel dismissed, seek a second opinion. Your health is too important to leave in the hands of someone who doesn't take your concerns seriously. The road ahead. This book is your companion on a journey towards understanding and managing hypermobility disorders. We'll delve into getting diagnosed, navigating the medical system without losing your sanity, understanding your body's limits, learning when to push and when to rest, physical training and strength management, staying strong without causing harm, pain management strategies, tools to manage chronic pain effectively, navigating life's challenges, from school to work to relationships, mental health and resilience, building a mindset that supports your well-being. Final thoughts. Remember, you're not alone in this. There's a community of men facing similar challenges, and together we can break the stigma around men's health issues. Your journey might be tough, but every step you take is a victory. As we move forward, keep this in mind. Every event in my life has prepared me for the next moment. Embrace your story, own your struggles, and let's navigate this path together.